Greetings, traveler.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another draft video. In this video we'll be taking a closer look at the Mage. Now, for those of you following the stream or watching a lot of the YouTube videos, you will notice that I'm really enjoying Mage this expansion. Now you might say, oh, Shady, you sold out, man, you went to the dark side. But I really feel like both drafting and playing Mage right now is really skill dependent. Now, sure, you can still have your standard triple fireball, double polymorph, 2 flame strikes, frostbolts, flame cannons, herpiter mage that kills everything. But the mage that I'm drafting these days is a pretty heavy control mage, but pretty much without needing all that premium removal. A lot of my control decks don't have all that removal. Now this one ends up with a pretty decent amount, especially later in the draft. We get saved, but it still isn't super standard insane control mage. The philosophy that I want to share with these videos is how to draft it. So a very quick rundown on how I like to draft my mages right now. I like to prioritize early game, 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, anything to keep you alive early, frostbolt, flame cannon, these kind of things, twilight flame caller, explosive sheep, right? Early AoE, early removal, early drops. Mid game is pretty much non-existent for me. I've had 2 drafts that pretty much ignored mid game and both went 12-0. So I think we're onto something here, at least for this meta. And then we focus on value. So those are the 2 main things. Early game, 1s, 2s, 3s, early removal, and value. Cards like Conjure, Acolyte of Pain, Arcane Intellect. Card draw, cards that generate more stuff. Now, removal is obviously great. If you can polymorph your opponent's minion, that's also value, because you can polymorph a minion that would have gotten a lot of value for your opponent. AoE is very nice, but once again, not super necessary when playing this style, because you're focusing on having a good early game. So AoE should not be super necessary. It's obviously great, and it's gonna save your ass once or twice. So the lack of mid game essentially makes it so you have more early games, so you're more likely to draw it versus the aggressive matchups. So you're more likely to stabilize. And versus the value matchups, the mid game wasn't really doing that much anyway, right? So you'd rather just remove that mid game and have more greed in your deck, more card draw and stuff. All right, guys, I'm not going to stretch these intros too long, right? But especially when I'm working on something a little bit new, I want to nuance it and give you guys a good idea of what to look for. So enjoy the draft. If you like the video, hit like and subscribe. And as always, let me know in the comments what you thought of the video, which cards you would have picked different. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll see you next time. It's either that or another Warlock. And I've been liking Mage, like now that I'm writing the guide on it. It's fun to see the little things. Okay, so guys, we're gonna do a nice and in-depth Mage draft here. The first thing we need to do is draft about 10 cards, see what we have then, and then we decide what we want. I'm going to draft with a control archetype in mind, but I'm not going to lock myself into that. That being said, I think the only card here is a Scaled Nightmare. It's a nice value-oriented card. It ends the game if you have board control. Next up, we have a Cryomancer, Arcane Missiles, or Murloc Raider. I think it's pretty close. I think I'm going to go with the Arcane Missiles because it is a little bit better in the control archetype. I don't like 5 drops too much, and this one is not that special. Sewer Ooze, Dancing Sword, or Arcanosmith. I'm going to go with the Ooze. Decent early game card. Fits every archetype. Nova, Dragonhawk Rider. I think it's once again pretty close. I think I'm going to go with the Dragonhawk Rider, seeing as it's still pretty early. I don't want to lock myself into anything. Scarlet Crusader, Chemist, or Bloodsail. Here it's between the Chemist or the Bloodsail because we already have 2 3-drops. Even though Scarlet Crusader is probably the best card in the pack. The Chemist allows for more value, which is what we want when we're playing control, but we also want a good early game. So I'm going to go with the 2-drop this early in the draft. A good 1-drop, a good 2-drop, a good 3-drop. Can't really go wrong here. The 2-drop works best if we want to go for a more mid-rangey style. I don't think it's a 3 because we have 2 3s already. I think I'm gonna go with the 1. I've been really enjoying this Mage with some more 1s. Close 1. This one is pretty straightforward. Frost Elemental is the only good card. It's a little early to commit to anything this big, so pick up another 2. Blowgill or Chicken, or Lord of the Arena. We have 2 6s, so probably not Lord of the Arena. It's probably a Chicken here. It's fine, it's the best card. Bruiser, Argent Commander, or Crazed Alchemist. It's probably Argent Commander. I just want to look at the Bruiser because it's pretty good for the more reactive. I guess Argent Commander is still removal. Sure. Okay, now that we're 10 cards in, we have a decent early game. We have 3 1/2s. We have 2 3s. We have 1 4, and we have 3 6s. What do we lack? We do not have single target removal, we do not have AoE, and we don't have anything super value oriented, although we do have 3 6-drops. So right now, we are extremely flexible. We don't need to commit to anything yet. This is good. I'll pick the Earthen Ring over the Freezing Potion, I think. Yeah. So we're still just drafting on quality. Cookie Chemist, Twisted Worgen, or Investigator. I like the Worgen here. I like to have more early game, so we keep our options open. We have Scaled Nightmare. I think it's still Matter Bomber. It's a pretty good card if we're going to be more reactive. Zombie Chow is sick in pretty much no matter what we do. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. If we pick the Worgen here, we can start drafting really, really greedy, because then our early game is looking spot on. Because Duplicate is moderately greedy. I don't like the card too much. And we also need to hit AoE, and like this might not be good enough for AoE, I think. Yeah, I prefer this one for a stronger early game. Okay, Garrison Commander is okay-ish, right? Early game that doubles its value. Doomsayer is fine. Great Arcane Missiles is shit. There we go. That's perfect. That's value. We need value. This is shit. We'll go with the 1. Alright, Dalaran Aspirant or a Flexible 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't need that anymore. We'll pick a more mid-rangey card. Yuck. Probably Deathlord. Yeah. We can use it if we're being really pressured. Daring Reporter here. So now that we're 20 cards in, we can look at what the deck is most likely going to become. It's more likely to be a mid-rangey deck, which I don't really like, but we don't have a lot of AoE, we don't have a lot of removal. We don't really have the reach to be aggro either, nor do we have the curve. Well, the curve is decent-ish for aggro, but we have a little reach here and there. We're still going to pick the Reporter, best card for me here. Toxic Sewer Ooze for another good 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a Loot Hoarder. I think the Loot Hoarder might actually be better, the way how the draft is going. Yeah, we have 3s. Flame Strike is great, so we can maybe still become a bit more of a control deck. Flame Strike being picked up. I'll go with the Berserker here. I don't mind to have low 4s, especially not that we picked up a decent amount of 2s. Yeah, Firelance Portal, amazing. Even though Inventor would be also a great pickup here, it's just nowhere near. Pick a 2-mana card over the healing. Yep, we are low on force, so more 2-mana cards are good. I'll go over the draft. I'll go over the chat after the draft, guys. Aberrant Berserker here, pretty much no contest. Decent 4. Ooh, Chemist for value is probably good enough. We have 2s, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but we have 1s as well. We don't need more 2s. Yeah, here's where I just want pure value, because we picked up some more reactive stuff with the Flame Strike and the 2 portals. We have the Argent for reactive stuff. We have the Bomber. Here I like the Chemist just for value. It's good enough. Creeper doesn't add enough value. Stormwind Champion, not really the card you're looking for in Mage. It's probably still better than Abusive at this point. We have the early game settled, so I think the biggest card there. Spiked Hog Rider as the final card. Okay. This was a fun draft. It looked a little weird at the start, but we ended up with a Flame Strike and 2 portals. And we were able to invest in our early game at the start. It's a new strategy that I'm doing when I'm drafting Mage. If the value isn't good enough, I'll go for the early game option to make sure I can slam dunk the super value cards. If we had gotten a Tome or a Conjure at the end, right, we could have just picked that as well because we had our early game curve settled.